Let's go.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Celtics at Home. Kyle and Scal with you. And we got some news, Scal. We got big news. The NBA is set to return July 31st. The Board of Governors approving the 22-team plan, 8 regular season games, then going to the playoffs. They approved the plan 29-1. The only team that voted against it, the Portland Trailblazers, reportedly. Just give me your thoughts, Scal, now knowing that we are on the way back.
I know it's a lot of work to make something like this happen. I know there's going to be a lot of testing down there to make sure guys do not get the coronavirus. If they do, they can quarantine them, keep teams intact, keep teams healthy. But I'm excited that they're going down this road. I'm excited that they figured out a format where players can play a couple games and get their legs under them before the high intensity of the playoffs start, where things really start to matter.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there was some talk, should they go right to the postseason? And I'm like, nah, I like the way after being off 3 to 4 months, you need some time to get those legs back. What I find interesting, though, is, you got 22 teams, if I'm correct, of the 6 that are coming back, only one of them, the Washington Wizards, the Eastern Conference team, 5 out west. What do you think about that? Just this whole chance for those teams to make it and, maybe a play-in kind of thing between the 8 and 9 seed?
Well, here's where I stand with this, Kyle. I think that those teams, let's just group the 7 and 8 seed out west and those teams that are sitting on the bubble. I think they should play each other for a playoff spot, because everyone looks at it like, oh, it's all about your schedule. You go and play the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James plays 11 minutes. It's not like a true game. So having these teams who are all fighting for the last 2 playoff spots, let's just say that's what it is, I think that's going to be much more interesting than seeing these teams that already have things locked up. And the fact that there's no home court advantage, what are you playing for if you're a top seed at that point?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what does this mean for the Celtics, though? What are you expecting from them? Young guys, Kemba Walker's first season in Boston. What are you looking for?
Just figuring out ways to get this thing right, to get, making that well-oiled machine as close as you can make it before the playoffs start, Kyle.
All right, looking forward to it, no doubt. Obviously, we are all looking forward to the return of basketball, but over the last 10 days or so, things have gotten really tense in our country. Sherrod Blakely takes a look at the Celtics' involvement in some of the ongoing social injustice protests that we've seen.
The Boston Celtics had an active weekend with players as well as the organization lending their voice and their platforms to a series of peaceful protests following the death of Minnesota's George Floyd, who was killed while in the custody of now ex-police officer Derek Chauvin. This weekend was all about Celtics Strong. On Saturday, we had Jaylen Brown making a 15-hour drive to his native Georgia. Donning a Celtics cap with a megaphone in hand, he led a peaceful protest through the streets of Atlanta. He also streamed part of the march via his Instagram account and also posted videos of his speeches.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want? Now!
On Saturday night, Celtics teammate Enes Kanter tweeted out how he is, quote, proud to be an ally with my brothers and sisters in Boston and all over the United States. Kanter joined protesters in Boston on Sunday outside the Massachusetts State House while chanting, "I can't breathe" to the crowd at the rally.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
He was not alone. I was there with Marcus Smart, and Marcus explained to me why he felt so moved to participate in Sunday's gathering.
We wanted to come out here and let our voice be heard, because we stand for the truth and we stand for justice, and we won't stop until we get justice, and that's really what this is about.
Shortly after my conversation with Marcus Smart, the Celtics released a statement noting, "We stand with our players, employees, partners, and fans in being committed to championing the change we need." And on Monday afternoon, head coach Brad Stevens chimed in by breaking his 3-year Twitter silence with a pair of tweets. He too supported change following the death of George Floyd by backing a statement from the National Basketball Coaches Association saying they are committed to creating positive change in communities around the country. Stevens also linked to a tweet from former President Barack Obama, who wrote an article entitled "How to Make This Moment the Turning Point for Real Change." Stevens supports the message, responding, quote, "Let's get to work," while thanking Obama. NBA players, teams, and coaches seem to be on one accord with one goal, which is to use their voices and platforms to bring about change. something the Celtics franchise has historically done that once again has them at the forefront of social change and reminds us all why they are Celtics strong.
All right, very important stuff being discussed by Sherrod. Very important, stuff going on with the Celtics. Marcus Smart obviously taking part in the protest. Scal, Jaylen Brown driving 15 hours down to Atlanta. One thing that I'm noticing, we're talking about young men, really being out there in the forefront with social justice issues, Scal.
No question. And not only that, but these guys have lived through tough areas growing up. Jaylen Brown lived in a tough area, met some tough people. And now he's like, this is how we make change. But change is not just looking to the left and right of my neighbors. Change is across the board. Change in education, change in police brutality and social justice. People getting incarcerated for crimes that they don't commit. These guys believe in it, and it's good to see guys that have passion about something.
Yeah, and exactly. And those guys also backed up by Brad Stevens' ownership, the league, NBA, Adam Silver as well. Once again, we're seeing the NBA being at the forefront of social justice issues. All right, now let's get to House Call. And Abby catches up with Grant Williams, and they talk about rooming with Kemba Walker and Grant's greatest achievement outside of the NBA. Let's check out this interview, which was done a few weeks ago.
You and Kemba are living together. That seems to have worked out pretty nicely, but I want to know who's doing all the cooking, the cleaning, taking care of the dogs. How is that working out?
So I actually just let the dogs out to use the bathroom outside right before I got on this call. But in regards to cooking and cleaning, we're pretty clean people. So we do our best to keep everything tidy. But in cooking, he has his own chef, and she does a phenomenal job of taking care of the both of us now. And I'm thankful for Chef Chianti, and I thought about hiring her too. So I'm definitely, we're enjoying that. And then times where we're on our own, we just kind of either order something or we make. Kimba's not that bad of a cook, and I feel like I'm not either. So we've enjoyed the time.
What's your go-to meal if you have to cook?
If I have to cook, I love cooking Asian, like stir fry. Like I love, like I always make a chicken. Like I have a lot of things that I add into it. Like my dad taught me how to make it. And then like there's these dirty green beans we make and all this other stuff that we have. So those are probably my two favorite.
I'm making fried rice tonight. I have to ask you.
I'll be over there in a little bit.
How are you feeling? I mean, body-wise, we talk about how tough an 82-game season is. I know you didn't play all of those, but it is a lot more on your body than what you experienced in college.
I think I played double the games, but my body feels great. Like I'm young. I said that's a virtue of being a 21-year-old in today's NBA. It's like they're always like, oh, you're good, rookie. Your body doesn't have the miles that we have on it. So I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good. Like the biggest thing for me is just staying in shape and keeping my weight down and making sure that I'm doing the right things every single day to be able to perform on the court when called on. So my body feels good. I'm just got to do a better job probably stretching a little bit more.
Don't we all? I feel like that's something we all need to do a better job of. Mm-hmm. How good are you feeling about the season coming back and being able to crown a champion?
Right. I feel amazing because there's been a lot of discussion about it. I'm our player rep with the PA, and definitely really, really ready to get back on the court and back with the guys and accomplish something and add number 18 to the book. I feel like we have a great chance. We have the best chance in the world, especially because our team is so versatile and we have a lot of competition along the way. We have to play maybe a talented Philadelphia team straight up, or depending on how the season works out, you never know who we'll play. We'll play the Nets or the Raptors, and then we have Milwaukee or Orlando. Like it's a talented Eastern Conference, and then on the other side, you have to end up playing either Lakers, Clippers, Denver, all those like the best teams over there. So it's gonna be fun.
Give me your best, greatest life achievement outside of the NBA.
In all honesty, I look back, and I've actually got this question from multiple friends recently. I'm just like, wow, like this is a difficult question, but I always say graduation just because I accomplished something that I told my parents that I would, especially since I didn't choose the Ivy League route. I told them I would graduate in 3 years with my degree and hopefully be able to take the step and move on to the NBA. And that's, I look back and I was like, I actually succeeded. And it's definitely something that I look back on and saying very thankful that I put in that time and that effort. it was definitely difficult in the moments that I was going through it, but I definitely respected and loved that I actually had the opportunity to finish with my degree.
Congratulations on the graduation. What did it mean to you and for your parents to see you walk across that stage and get the diploma?
Oh, it was my mom was crying. My dad was happy. You know, he doesn't show emotion. So he was, you know, doing his thing of stern face, but good job, son. My grandparents were going crazy. My family, basically my entire family was there, and I was super shy. For example, my brother this year, we couldn't see him walk across the stage with his master's because of COVID. So he actually had to do a fake little graduation at home and drive-through type thing, and it was definitely fun and we enjoyed it, but it kind of isn't the same. But that's why I always said that in times like these, hopefully we can find light in anything, and we've done our best to do that.
All right, welcome in. We got another episode of Celtics Census, and this week to face our reigning winners, Kyle Draper and Brian Scalabrine, we brought in the big guns. Cedric Maxwell and Sean Grandy are here to be the challengers. So, guys, let's get right to it with our opening tip to see who goes first. So, guys, get your pens and papers ready. Whoever's closest to the answer will get to go first. And the question is, how many wins does Brad Stevens need to pass Red Auerbach? And it looks like Cedric has 3?
3?
Yeah.
64.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Grandy. Put it up, big fella.
What you waiting for, Kyle?
So none of you guys got it right. It's 483. So Kyle, you win the round. So we have 6 answers for this first round question. We asked 300 Celtics fans, which current Celtic would you name your pet after? So Kyle and Scal, you're
Okay,
up.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
It's easy. I already know someone that named their dog Tatum, so Jason Tatum would be my first guess.
You don't have to write it down. That's right. He's number 4. So Kyle, you're up.
Taco Fall.
Taco Fall is the number 1 answer. So you guys are both right. No strikes yet.
Kemba.
Kemba Walker is number 3. No
Yes.
strikes yet.
And you said current Celtics, right?
Current.
Celtics. So this really isn't that hard.
Yeah, current Celtics. A lot of Gordon Hayward fans out there. Gordon. That's a great name for a
That's
dog.
the first strike. He is not in the top 6.
I'm going to go with Shemmy.
Ooh.
Shemmy's number 5.
Oh, Scal.
All the pressure's
Nice
on you,
work.
big
Yeah,
fella.
I know. So you went with Shemmy, huh? I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
So that is not correct. So, Grandy and Max, you can steal the round by all you have to do is just get.
Oh, I know who it is.
Damn, I don't. I'm trying to think right now who I named my dog after.
All right, I need a final answer in 5
Go ahead,
seconds,
Max.
guys.
Go ahead, Sean.
All right, we'll go Cantor.
That is not correct.
Yes, it's Marcus Smart. I know it's Smart.
Was number 2, and Romeo Langford was number 3.
Romeo.
Yeah, let's go, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right, so 1 point goes to Kyle and Scal. Round 2, this is worth 2 points. So Sean and Max, you guys are up. Out of 3, we asked 300 Celtics fans, which current or former Celtic would you want to host a podcast? There are 5 answers.
I'll go first.
Say your name. Say your name.
No, I'm gonna save that to last. I'm gonna go with Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown is number 2. That is correct. Number 2 on the list.
Good call.
If I were choosing this is not my choice, I would put Rasheed Wallace as my number 1 answer for all time, if not Evan Turner, but Isaiah Thomas is going to be my answer.
Isaiah is not on the list, so that is your first strike.
I'm gonna go with me.
Cedric, you are not on the list. You did not make the top 5, even though you're probably the only
All
one.
you gotta do is get 1.
Everyone check out that podcast. It's very good. So sorry, it goes over to Kyle and Scal.
Don't you got to go Pierce? We have to go Pierce, right?
Pierce or KG? What do you think, Scott?
Let's go
I
Pierce.
feel like Pierce is like the answer for everything.
Yeah, Pierce.
Pierce is on the list, number 4. But number 1 was Kevin Garnett. Number 2, Jaylen Brown. Number 3, Marcus Smart. Number 4, Pierce. And number 5, Grant Williams. All time. Pretty crazy. All right, so this is the final round. It's worth 3 points. So right now, Kyle and Scal have 3 points, and you guys have 0. Your only hope is to tie the game, Sean and Max, if they don't win and you guys steal the round. But right now, it's for Kyle and Scal. We asked, out of 100 Celtics fans, what was the best game in Celtics history? There are 5 answers.
Oh, I know this one, but I don't. It's that Game 7 with Cedric Maxwell in 81, but I'm not going with that one. I'll go the duel, Bird and Dominique.
So that is a strike because that is not on the list.
Man,
How
doing
old are
this,
these
man?
people? No, it's a bunch of 16-year-olds he's Max talking to.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So
Not me talking to them. It's a very scientific methodology that went into this, all right? It was an
Go
online-
ahead, Kyle. Go
How
ahead.
about
I know what
Pierce
I'm
LeBron duel? Pierce
Nope.
versus LeBron.
Yes, that is correct. That was number 3. So good job.
2008 shellacking of the Lakers.
Which game number?
Game 6.
That was number 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was number 1.
I had to get my mind into what people like. They like the
I know.
Celtics destroying people or winning championships. Go ahead, Kyle.
I'm thinking Isaiah dropping, what was it, 52,
53.
53 against the Wizards? Isaiah.
It is correct. That was the 5th one. So, all right, guys. There's 2 more. There's number 2 and number 4
Oh.
left on the list.
That was good.
Those are still
All right.
alive.
So I'll go 84 Celtics Lakers Game 7.
That is not correct. Strike 2. Which is really strike 3. So, Sean and Max, confer. You can steal the round and tie the game.
All right, Sean. I believe the game that we want to talk about will be Celtics Pistons when they beat them in the, what game was that? You will know. Yeah.
You're talking about
stole the ball.
This game 5.
That is not the correct answer. Sorry. It was number 2 was the 08 game 4 comeback versus the Lakers.
Lakers, yep.
And then the 3 overtime in 76 versus the Suns.
I was going to say that.
That was an unfortunate loss for you guys because
That's crappy. Those are people that don't know Celtic history. How could you not have Game 7 against the Lakers in 1984?
You guys have been running it every night.
That was the game, okay?
People literally come up to Max in the supermarket every day going, hey, great game last night. It just happened.
Dude, come on.
Look, I get it. It's frustrating, but thank you guys very much for joining us. And speaking of best game in Celtics history, we asked Tommy Heinsohn what his favorite game was, and here's his answers.
All right, it's time now for Tommy's Take. And Tommy, we've been watching all these classic Celtics games, and you've been around pretty much all of them over the last 50, 60 years. Do you have 3 favorite Celtics games you like?
Well, naturally, I think the first championship game, which back in 1957.
Rookie of the Year, Tommy Heinsohn found the range early on.
Was a double overtime 7th game, and that was the first Celtic championship.
Bill Russell jumped for joy, and the Celtics dynasty was born.
And then I think for my own personal enjoyment was 1974 when we beat the Milwaukee Bucks on their own home court in the 7th game.
And that's it. It's history. The Boston Celtics have won the World Championship in 1974.
I was coaching that team, so that was my first coaching championship. And then the fun event for me was the 08 championship team. Danny put together, the big 3. They just played terrific basketball. And Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen really did a heck of a job in 08.
It is banner 17. The mission statement is mission accomplished. How sweet it is.
So, Tommy, was that one of your best games ever as a rookie in the finals, Game 7, 37 points, 23 rebounds? What was it about that night that had you going?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a most unusual game. Bill Russell and I were rookies together. And we had 2 guys that were all pro, Bill Sharman and Bob Cousy, which was probably the best backcourt of that era. And in that particular game, they were so anxious to win a title after being thwarted for 5 or 6 years that they couldn't get out of their own way. It was so unlike them. And Bill Russell and I just played, out of our squashes. Russell was used to winning championships. I had won one at the NIT in college. But this was really a terrific thing for the team. It really established basketball in Boston. There were no parades. There were no stops at City Hall after it was all over. In fact, the next few years that we won, they would tack on a little motorcade at the marathon route. In other words, the people would be out there for the marathon, and we would drive down.
Oh, man. Good stuff, Tommy. A guy that knows all about winning, Tommy Heinsohn. Good stuff on Tommy's takes. Tommy, we'll check in with you next time.
Be good.
The Celtics have worked with the Massachusetts State Lottery in continuing the Heroes Among Us program, bringing the popular in-game initiative to life virtually in order to honor individuals for their heroic actions related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Since the program's digital launch, 7 different heroes in the community have been recognized. Established in 1997, the Heroes Among Us program has honored more than 850 individuals for their overwhelming impacts on the lives of others. The initiative is currently accepting nominations for those who have made a positive impact in the fight against COVID-19. That'll do it for this week's episode of Celtics at Home. Thanks for joining us. But before we leave you, we got to continue our series, Ever Wonder. This week, we take a look at the parquet floor and how it all came about for the Celtics.
Have you ever wondered how the Celtics ended up with their parquet floor design? The answer lies in history. No, don't leave. We'll use an example from today. During the COVID-19 pandemic, shoppers found a shortage in cleaning supplies, toilet paper, and yeast. So you went online and read about growing your own yeast because you needed to bake bread. You improvised. Tough luck on that toilet paper. Anyway, in the aftermath of the Second World War, many common items were in short supply, including professionally cut wood. Those long boards common to basketball courts weren't an option, but the Celtics needed a home court. So the team found surplus scraps of northern Tennessee red oak and laid them in an alternating pattern to create the parquet effect. Taking lemons and making lemonade, so to speak. They improvised. In 1999, the original parquet was replaced, but the Celtics kept the design, because it's not something you change when you've won a record 16 championships.